Yes, I'm back. I'm still on the same part. Now, it's like this. The actual event that is taking place now is we have to go into actually the sacral bone, the root chakra. When this occurs, energy starts shooting up from the root chakra all the way up into your body throughout all the 72,000 to 100,000 vortex points or acupuncture points throughout your body to make them spin. Now, the energy itself is not one ball of energy. It's one energy, but divided into positive and negative, feminine and masculine. So they call it the Inga, Pingala, Isis, or Osiris. All right, when this energy happens in post-traumatic stress soldiers and everything, it makes them shake. Anxiety kicks in, and they start seeing things, and that's when that whole post-trauma comes in. So it's actually the inducer or the trigger for their event. So there is a way that you could live with it and understand it, but that's the cause, and that's like Kundalini full blown. The thing with this is that Kundalini is contagious. You could catch it. Now, in a normal person that is just indigenous, they already had these abilities to see ethereal beings, higher beings, your intuition, or what we call the mentor. You have another body that you could separate, body double, and it's your teacher. It's also their intuition when you're hearing your mind talk. It's many levels that make this actually Kundalini that the Egyptians show with their Uraeus on. They won. They won in the sense of, like, you got to understand, when they holding up lions and they're holding up the animals, it doesn't just stand for the constellation that they're representing. It stands for the defeat over those zodiac animals. Because if you look at your zodiac chart, your daily astrology, it predicts what you're going to do. Your day is going to be your attitude, everything. How is that possible? Well, the law of that is that you're able to be born under a sign. That animal you're born under is your lower trait attributes. Those is, if you're unconscious, you're going to act out. So anybody that it falls under the zodiac's astrology and they read it in the paper, if it goes that way, it's because you're unconscious and you're in your animal self, and it's predictable. You supposed to give back the animal. That's why you see the Egyptians holding it up. They don't act like their animal self because it has no influence on them. They went inside themselves, met the lion or the alligator, whatever they stepping on or holding up, and faced it. They graduated. If they on the alligator, that means they passed the halls of fermented. They went in the underworld and defeated it. They're standing on top of the crocodile. The crocodile is a mented. A mented is real. It's not actually how we see it, where it's this crocodile, and it is a electrical magnetic crocodile, because when you leave this, your energy, so you're going to be electrical magnetic. So you think God ain't have something for your ass if you think you're going to do some crazy shit? Yeah, he got some shit for that too. We got for everything is covered. I'll explain it all over the next months, years, whatever. Now, this Amentet first didn't start with Amentet. It started with the Africans. Crocodiles was in Africa first, and anyway what's above comes below eventually. So it was already in the ethereal world, and in the spiritual world it been existed. But in the physical world, it was the Africans, the indigenous, the first, like the Igbo, the Yoruba people, and those tribes that actually. And the Zulu, as a matter of fact, up to Zulu time, they was feeding the people to a crocodile. And guess what's the crazy shit about it? They wanted to be fed to the crocodile as an honor, as a warrior. So if you went to trial, courts, because they was holding courts before the flood, put it like that. All that shit y'all thinking the court ain't been set up. There's case records. You could even look up Hammurabi and his 300 law codes. This is like back in Lagash, the beginning before they trying, in Time Life, they tell you their little version of the history and mysteries. And so you could get a little understanding of some type of timeline. What I do, I go into what they say. I don't go into what I think it is or what we as the blacks say. No, I want to see it from their perspective. And that's how I learn. I learned from studying them because you know what? They know the truth and they hide it. So if you study their stupid self, they always fuck up and show you what they made a mistake at, and that's when you just tweak it a little and you got the real truth. But they're good for hiding shit, for saying it's an unknown. They don't know what happened. That's when you know they're hiding it, and more than likely it's an African behind it. So anyways now, the theory of fermented, I mean the whole thing with fermented, which is real, is that all Africans used to be punished or murdered by being fed to the alligator because they saw it spiritually. And so it was an honor though as a warrior if you went to trial and say you lost, death was the sentence to be fed to the alligator. You willingly wanted to go because there was people sometime who would say no, we'll give you a second chance out of sympathy or pity, because they got kids and the mother can't support themselves and exonerate them. But they wouldn't take the exoneration. They would say no, that's dishonor, and they would jump over into the alligator pit. So that's like something deep that we weren't gonna understand, because back then they didn't care to live. They didn't be like us. We fucked up. We all fucked up. They had more pride and morals and honor to how they lived as warriors. They was only warriors. There was nothing in between. You understand? Women's was the other thing. So on that note now, this whole Kundalini activation with the snake coming up is also part of this electrical field, this electrical chakra system that you have. It has to connect, else you're asleep, you're unconscious, you can't leave your body. So Kundalini was designed to eventually, when you get to a certain perception of reality, wake you up to the simple fact of they're here. Yes. And you usually get it from leaving your body. It's an out-of-body experience. Why is it an out-of-body experience? Because you're stuck in your body, you believe you're your body, you believe everything is real. And so until somebody shake the shit out of you and scare the shit out of you and you jump out your body, then you realize that, oh shit, what the fuck is this? Where am I? How did I get here? What is this? Who's these people? This my parents? This my sisters? What the fuck is this? That's when you start coming to self-realization. And so once you do that, you compartmentalize your body. Once you jumped out, something else jumped in. That's it. So now you're free. Your consciousness floats here, it floats there. You're not in your body. You could participate in your body, but now your body is a self. It's free to do what it wants. And so that's what Kundalini activation actually gives you the ability to. You see, when you're having them nightmares, them bad dreams, they trying to make you have an astral projection, an out-of-body experience. You're a soul. If you think that you're supposed to be confined to your body, you're dead wrong. They got you thinking wrong, because you're not the body. I take a biblical in Genesis 2. That's where it's at. It starts. He said, well, he formed man and he made man, the soul. He didn't say he made man, the body. He said he formed man, the soul. So you're a soul. You don't have nothing to do with the body like that. It's a vessel like a car. And so is the spirit. So is the soul. It's just another vessel, because they're really the consciousness. And when you have a Kundalini activation, all this becomes aware to you, because you shift in your perceptions of your chakras. And each one is like going into a different body. And you got many bodies in you, a little one, a medium one. Each chakra zone renders you a different personality. And so all these different personalities, your growth cycles that you go through, they all still there with you. You as a child, you as a baby, all those personalities, it's in your chakras. Okay. So now you're getting a better understanding of what Kundalini is and Kundalini awakening. You got to understand now, when you get this Kundalini activation and Kundalini awakening, it makes you see things. Before things happen, it'll take place. And I'm not going to go into all the gifts, because it's all about psychic gifts. Everyone, clairvoyance, telekinesis, you name it. It's stuff I'm learning today. People dream shit and it happens the next day. But it comes with nervous system issues. It comes with seeing spirits issues. it comes with what y'all would consider possessions, because y'all think you own your body and you possess it, but you don't actually possess it. You're the consciousness in the body. So you got all these factors to factor in with this Kundalini activation if you planning on doing it. It's for strong-minded people, or like in the Bible say, you're going from a child of men to a child of God. He said you ain't gonna be a servant after a while. He wants you to be his heir. All those are saying the same thing, that you once was a child being suckled under the earth. You only see earth things, you only know earth things. But as you ascend, you look up. You start seeing, oh shit, it's not just the earth, it's the sky. And this sky got a whole world in it of beings and where you come from. And it keeps going up and up and up and up and up. Now this gets to the top. Let's get to that, because this is important. I'm studying that, and I don't study. It's kind of weird, B. Yo, let me tell you. I could be having my experience like I'm having now, where I'm learning how to identify consciously atoms. I'm always seeing them. I fuck with them. I got plenty of videos. Like, oh, great. But now these cells is like, I'm learning how to project them out my eyes, project them out my aura, this field. I know how to bring this up so you can see what's going on in it. You understand? And in it, the cell is coming up. Now, in my meditations, I just told y'all how I learned about the rings. These rings that when you're traveling in the astral, you're really traveling in light, because you're a light body. Everything is light. But if you was to be perfect, you'll just disappear and turn back into light, or an energy ball. And so now, in traveling these light, you find rings, that this is rings. And each ball that you see, or ore ball, is a bunch of circles calcified into a ball that eventually, upon observation, they all separate slowly and go back. That's what happens if you don't pay attention to your eyes. You get cataracts. It's the calcification of those balls. And so if you meditate, it will break apart. It'll all separate. If you meditate, all the spirits will go back to the places they belong on your body. If any diseases, any toxicities there, they push them out and fix back your magnetic field, those cells. So learning those, that when I'm traveling in what I thought was darkness is really the brightest of the bright light, like they say the black sun, is actually now perceptible by your thoughts. And so you see, I love this, you see the balls again behind me? You see how they bring it up? You see the chain balls on the sides? They stay with my chain. You see how on this side, it goes up, right? Then over here, it breaks apart. It breaks down into this, like the triangle. Look, you gotta understand, man. I'm an observant motherfucker. You hear I'm talking and I'm in my zone, and I'm still seeing all of that that's going on. So you understand which part it is. It's right here. The part that they keep showing you is this. You understand? So you see it. Look up in there. You will always see that. It's the ascension that I did, the Kundalini activation, the one with these people here that I'm straight with. They hold combo and talk with me all day. Look here now. You see how it's going through the mouth? Look how you do it. You see it? And you see the breeze again behind? You see the triangle is set up? I just want y'all to see that, because this is very serious right here. You see them? They playing with it now. Those balls, all you got to look at is these, my chain, these orbs. And when you did what I did, you'll learn. I don't know if I'm supposed to be teaching this. Maybe it's just for me. But anyways, now back to what I was saying. Now, you see, once you, I forgot where I was at, because I just took so long and went into a whole other direction. But anyways, let's continue. You see, once you understand, when you get to the top, the highest of the spheres, and like I'm telling you, you're going up, 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 up. Yeah, a lot of people, especially the flat earthers, they be like, yo, the dome, the dome, the dome, the dome. Yes, it's a dome. Man, if y'all could see it how I see it, you will understand. All right, let me break it down to you again. We're going in. All right. When you're looking up into the sun sometime, and it's at 12 o'clock right above your head, you get like this halo around the sun sometime. It looks like a giant circle. You see it up in the sky. It's the same cell. The same cell that I'm talking about. It's the ring. It's the master ring. You understand? And so now, How is this possible? Just like they say some of the auroras shoot up to the top and just disappear like the dome. Well, what happens is, take the smallest circle right here between my fingers. Say it's a small circle here. And there's another circle and another circle and another circle and another circle, right? If they wanted to make skin, water, flesh, anything, they'll take those circles and compress them to a certain level. Once they compress, because they'll go into each other, it'll be different things as it compresses and compresses. The tighter it compresses, it becomes, till if you get it so tight, it becomes a short, shiny ball of light. Look at them playing with my chain again now. You see that? I love this video. This is going to be a classic. Right? And so once it compressed to be like a little energy ball, that's how they're able to manipulate it. So now this is how it works. You got one ball and then keep getting into other balls, 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 into other balls. It's about this big. Now remember this with your eyes, this circle that I'm doing right here. In the center, little dot will be the earth. Right? Up here will be the dome. The whole cell. That's all. Why is that important to know? Well, as I had said, each little dot to make up different one. You got your atmosphere, your lithosphere, your hemisphere, your stratosphere. Those is them. They get so heavy, they actually become domes depending on your trajectory and pressure. It's like you shoot a bullet up into the air. Eventually it's going to hit something that stops it. It don't stop because gravity's pulling on it. It's those spheres that it's going through. It can make it, but through so many. That's why if you're going to go into outer space, you have to go 10 times the speed of a bullet to pass each sphere. You understand? To buck them. It's the same as, like, you know, I did the video called Bandwidth, where I'm looking at the sky. But I break the sky down from the sun going down. You see layers. It's in mad little thin bandwidths going across as it go up from orange to a darker orange all the way up to the grays. You understand? Hello? And so if you could see that, that's how the spheres is showing you. Those is not actually bandwidth lines. They're circles. They're circles, big spheres. If you actually just take pictures of lens flare and wave your camera back and forth, you're going to get circles. Everything is these circles. So that's what's called the dome, because there's one big heavy sphere or atmosphere. I guess that would be the one that CERN and them is shooting up into to get these signals that make everything else come into existence. So those is what everybody is calling this dome, and this is what some things will hit and bounce off. Now you got to understand, not only does it shape this way, it's shaping this way too. You understand? It's in every direction. So like, say if you was to see it from this angle, you will see rings, a bunch of rings coming down like toroids, donuts, stacking on top of each other. You understand? This is what you're going to be looking at. So that's how the dome works. I just wanted you to understand that. I know that's really off the topic of Kundalini, but a lot of people be confused in the firmament and the dome and all this shit. Nah, it's there, but it's not how we think, like somebody put us in a glass fish tank or anything. It's basic scientific principle of ethers. If you understand how the ethers work, from my observation, I've done caught light. I watch it with reflection, sound, water, and that's what you get. That's like a puddle of water. When you drop a rock into it, it makes the same circles. That's all it is. So, like I said, I'm supposed to be on Kundalini. I don't know how it is when the topics are supposed to be about the beast. But anyways, so Kundalini activation for the Egyptians meant to conquer all the forces that's not only in the chakras, but you got, they had what's called the elementals. The elemental forces will be the earth, air, water, fire, spirits that's inhibiting this atmosphere. But then you also have now beings that's invisible. You got people who chose not to be visible in a physical form, but is here assisting people invisibly as spirits. You got people that's in relationships with other spirits that is not physical, that is ghost images or light body images. It's so much going on. You got spirits that opposing you, that is on you. Look, the Egyptians showed us, and what they're trying to tell us with one group of people facing up with their feet on the ceiling, and then the same group of people standing up straight. We live in a parallel world. Meaning, it doesn't mean there's dimensions and then you disappear into another dimensions. All of them is together. Parallel means they're here, right over you, in those different bandwidths. So if you was to flick your eyes and go into green, you will see this whole place full of different people running around, things going on. You flip it into orange, you in another, like, what the fuck? A whole bunch of different people. This is what you're able to do. And if you got to understand, that's just called the elemental spirits. You're part of that too. Your physical body doesn't just decay with the minerals. They go back to those elementals, and you have possibilities within yourself to go back to those. Those is not just those that participated. Those was your desires, your emotions, your imaginations. All these things is forever recorded in those elementals as muscle memories, and they go and they stay in there until you come back and reincarnate. Then they give it back to you in the elements that you're created in, and your soul don't stay with you for half of the journey. It goes now into one ray of light, and it stays there till you return. It got a unique identification piece and come back in whatever body you in, whatever race you in, whatever part of the continent you in. It'll come right back, and you be that same person that's soul-wise now. And then eventually you will integrate back with your memories and everything will continue the journey of your evolution. Some people never wake up. Some people wake up a few seconds before they die. Some people wake up from a child. You know, they said a child that got up and rocked the cradle when he first was born. It's people like that for real. It's the story of Noah or Moses or whatever the hell it may be. But anyways, no, it was Noah to be exact. But anyways, that's what Kundalini is all about now. So if you're able to complete this whole training of the Kundalini, what wind up happening now is that you become like a master of nature. You know everything. Master of energies. All of them will work with you and you become united. And there will be your perception. They'll give you visions of stuff happening in the future and the past. It also has to be nurtured. It has to be fed properly, meaning you got to eat natural foods that it could sustain itself off of, because it is like an energy. Now, when you get a Kundalini awakening and it happens actually, you literally having like a, hold on. This is getting long. Let me put it on the next one.